will be talking about the excretory system. The excretory system is a vital biological system responsible for removing metabolic waste products and excess substances from the body. This process, known as excretion. Excretion is crucial for maintaining internal chemical homeostasis and preventing damage to the body. The system's dual function involves eliminating waste products of metabolism and draining the body of used up components. In humans, this primarily involves the urinary system, but other systems like the respiratory, digestive, and integumentary system also contribute. Primary organs of the human excretory systems are, first, kidneys. These bean-shaped organs filter blood, removing waste products like urea, creatinine, and excess salts. They also regulate blood pressure, iron concentration, and blood pH. Each kidney contains millions of nephrons, the functional units responsible for blood filtration. The nephron's structure includes the glomerulus, a capillary network, Bowman's capsule, proximal convoluted tubule, loop of Henle, and distal convoluted tubule, all working together to filter and reabsorb substances. Second is the ureters. These muscular tubes transports urine from the kidneys to the urinary bladder. Third is the urinary bladder. This hollow muscular organ stores urine until it's expelled from the body. Lastly, the urethra. This tube carries urine from the bladder to the outside of the body. First is the respiratory system. The lungs expel carbon dioxide, a waste product of cellular respiration. Second, digestive system. The large intestine eliminates undigested food and waste product. Third is the integumentary system, or the skin. Sweat glands in the skin remove excess water, salts, and some other waste products through perspiration. The excretory system performs several functions, which is the waste removal. Waste removal eliminates nitrogenous waste products like urea, uric acid, ammonia, excess salts, and water. Homeostasis maintains the body's internal environment by regulating blood fluid balance, electrolyte levels, and blood pH. Blood pressure regulation. The kidneys play a role in regulating blood pressure. Lastly, the red blood cell production. The kidneys produce erythropoietin, a hormone that stimulates red blood cell production.
Hey everyone! Welcome to Biology 101. Today we're going on an amazing adventure inside your circulatory system. Buckle up! We're hopping on the bloodstream express. Did you know there's a superhighway inside your body where millions of tiny critters are zooming around, building oxygen, fighting germs, and cleaning up messes? Right? It's the circulatory system. The main part is the heart. This is your heart, a super strong pump in the middle of your chest that goes thump, thump all day and night. Your heart never sleeps. It pumps blood all over your body, about 100,000 a day. It's got 4 chambers, 2 at the top called atria and 2 at the bottom called ventricles. They work together to send blood to the lungs and body, like a perfectly timed machine. Blood enters to the right atrium, goes to the right ventricle and zooms to the lungs to pick up oxygen, then comes back to the left atrium, down to the left ventricle, and get launched to the rest of your body. Let's follow the blood as it zooms through the blood vessels, the highways of your body. These blood vessels carry your red blood cells. These red blood cells carry oxygen from the lungs to your body parts. They not only carry oxygen, but also carbon dioxide. Now, the red blood cells head back to the heart through the veins, carrying the yucky carbon dioxide and drops it off to the lungs to be filtered, and it becomes oxygen again. Pretty cool, Thanks right? For traveling through the circulatory system with us. Remember, eat healthy, drink a lot of water, and move your body. See you next time on Biology 101.
Have you ever wondered what happens to the water you drink or how your body gets rid of waste? Behind the scenes, there's a powerful system working 24/7 to keep your body clean and balanced, and it's called the urinary system. This system plays a vital role in filtering your blood, removing waste, and keeping your fluid levels in check. From the kidneys to the bladder, each organ has a specific job to help your body stay healthy. We'll explore the parts of the urinary system, how they work, and why they're so important for your everyday health. Let's start with the kidneys. Kidneys are two bean-shaped organs located just below your ribcage, one on each side of your spine. They consist of cauces, renal artery, renal vein, medulla, and cortex. They help the body pass waste as urine. They also help blood filtration before sending it back to the heart. Their main job is filtering your blood. Every minute, they filter about 1 liter of blood, removing waste product and extra fluids to form urine. Once urine is formed, it flows through a thin, narrow tube called ureters, which also connects to the kidney to the urinary bladder. The muscles in the ureter walls constantly relax and tightens, forcing urine downward away from the kidney. About every 15 seconds, a small amount of urine is evacuated into the bladder from the ureters. Think of the ureters like drainage pipe, always on duty, using muscular traction to move urine downward. Next is the bladder. The bladder acts like a storage tank, holding urine until your body is ready to let it go. When it's full, it is usually around 400 to 500 milliliters. You'll start to feel the urge to urinate. And finally, urine leaves the body through the urethra, a short tube that opens when your bladder muscles contracts and the sphincter muscle relaxes. Together, these organs form a smart and efficient system that keeps your blood clean, your body in balance, and your health in check. And that's a quick look at the urinary system, your body's built-in filtration and waste disposal system. Thank you for listening.
Hey everyone! Have you ever wondered how your body knows what to do? Like how to move your hand, blink your eyes, or jump when you're scared? That's all thanks to the nervous system. The body's super fast messaging system. So, the nervous system is our body's control and communication network. It coordinates our actions, thoughts, and sensory experiences by transmitting signals between different parts of the body. It's divided into two major parts, the central nervous system or the CNS and the peripheral nervous system, the PNS. The CNS consists of the brain and spinal cord. The brain processes information, makes decisions, and controls voluntary and involuntary actions. The spinal cord acts as a highway carrying messages between the brain and the rest of the body, and responsible for reflexes, quick and automatic responses to certain stimuli. The PNS includes all the nerves outside the CNS. It's further divided into somatic nervous system, which controls voluntary movements like walking or writing, and the autonomic nervous system, which manages involuntary functions like heart rate, digestion, and breathing. The autonomic system itself has two branches: the sympathetic system, which prepares the body for stressful situations, and the parasympathetic system, which calms the body down. Another critical component of the nervous system is the neuron, a specialized cell that transmits electrical and chemical signals. Neurons have three main parts: dendrites, which receive messages, the cell body, which processes them, and the axon, which sends them to other neurons or muscles. In summary, the nervous system is essential to everything we do, from basic functions like breathing to complex thoughts and emotions. Understanding how it works helps us appreciate just how intricate and intelligent the human body truly is. Thank you, and God bless us all.
Good day everyone, how's your day? So how do humans reproduce? Humans reproduce sexually with the fusion of male sperm cell and female egg cell during fertilization. And today we will be learning the male reproductive system. Today we'll be tackling about the major parts of the male reproductive system and their functions. The male reproductive systems consist of the epididymis, testes or testicles, scrotum, foreskin, penis, urethra, bladder, vas deferens, seminal vesicles, prostate gland, and Cowper gland. The first organ is the epididymis. The epididymis is the two coiled tubes that rest on top of the testes. This is where the sperm move and mature. Next is the testes or testicles. These are two small glands that produce the sperm. They produce male hormone, which includes the testosterone, and they hang outside the body in the scrotum. The third one is the scrotum. The scrotum is the external sac of skin that holds the testes. It is the one that protects the testes and regulates the temperature. The fourth one is the foreskin, a retractable double-layered fold of skin and mucous membrane that covers the glands of penis. The fifth one is the penis or the external genitalia. The penis has a spongy tissue, means of sperm and urine to exit the body, and it is a male external organ. The sixth one is the urethra, the tube that carries the semen and urine through the penis. The seventh one is the bladder, the organ that collects the urine excreted by the kidneys prior to disposal by urination. The eighth organ in the male reproductive system is the vas deferens. The vas deferens is the two long narrow tubes leading out of the epididymis, and it carries the sperm to the urethra. The ninth one is the seminal vesicles, two small organs about the size of a finger located behind the bladder, and it produces nourishing fluid to give sperm energy to move. Next is the prostate gland. The size and the shape of the prostate gland is the same size as a chestnut, and it secretes fluid to help the sperm moves. Lastly, the vas deferens tubes join urethra at prostate gland. The last but not the least is the Cowper's gland. The Cowper's gland is a pea-sized gland that connects to the urethra via a tiny duct, and it secretes a thick, clear mucus prior to ejaculation. Did you know that 200 million to 600 million sperm cells may be deposited in the vagina by a single ejaculation? I hope you learned something about this discussion, and it will help you to the better future. Thank you and God bless.
Kids AF1 today I discuss about the female reproductive system. First, the role of female reproductive system. The female reproductive system has many roles. It produces egg, the ovaries, which are transported via the oviducts. A male sperm can fertilize the egg to produce an embryo, which can implant the uterus wall and eventually develop into a baby. The female reproductive system regulates this process by various different hormones which are produced in the ovaries and pituitary gland. First important part of the reproductive system is ovary. The female reproductive system has two ovaries. They contain undeveloped eggs, which is ova, which are represented from birth. They also make hormones which regulates the menstrual cycle. One of the ovaries releases a mature egg as part of the menstrual cycle. Next, oviduct. The oviducts are two tubes which connects the ovaries to the uterus. Oviducts are also known as fallopian tube. They are lined with air-like cells called cilia to help move the egg from the ovary to the uterus. The uterus is muscular with a soft lining. A fertilized egg can implant the uterus wall and develop from an embryo to a baby over the course of a pregnancy. The lining of the uterus wall comes away as a period if an egg is not fertilized by a sperm. Next is cervix. The cervix is ring of muscle which keeps the baby in the uterus during pregnancy. The cervix dilates to open during labor. And lastly, vagina. The vagina is a muscular tube which connects the cervix to outside the body. It is where the penis enters during sexual intercourse and where the baby exits during childbirth. The vagina is also where the menstrual blood leaves the body. Today, I discuss about estrogen. Estrogen is a female sex hormone made in the ovaries. It is responsible for puberty in girls and regulating the menstrual cycle. It stops FSH being produced to prevent more than one egg being released. Each cycle is repairs and thickens the uterus lining and stimulates the pituitary gland to release LH. Pituitary glands. The pituitary gland is where FSH and LH are produced. The ovaries. The ovaries produce estrogen and progesterone. The placenta. If woman became pregnant, the placenta produces progesterone to maintain the lining of the uterus and stop menstruation. And that is the ending of my video. Thank you.
Friends, ever wondered what happens when you breathe in and breathe out? No, it's not just your chest moving. It's a whole system working together behind the scenes. Welcome to the amazing, magical, and slightly moist world of the human respiratory system. Have you ever seen your breath in a cold morning and thought, whoa, am I a dragon? Not quite. That's actually water vapor from your lungs turning into tiny droplets when it hits the cold air. It's all part of respiration. Respiration is the process where your body takes in oxygen from the air and releases carbon dioxide. You breathe in oxygen, your cells use it for energy, and then poof, you breathe out carbon dioxide and water vapor. Your respiratory system is the organs and structure in your body that allows you to breathe. It includes your lungs, nose, mouth, and tube-like structures, the airways that connect them. You also have muscles and blood vessels that support your respiratory system, and ribs to protect it. These parts work together to bring oxygen into your body when you inhale and get rid of carbon dioxide when you exhale. What is the main function of your respiratory system? The main function of your respiratory system is to pull in oxygen from your body cell and get rid of carbon dioxide, a waste product. You do this by breathing in and out and through gas exchange between the small air sacs of your lungs, also called the alveoli, and the blood vessels running nearby. It warms and adds moisture to the air you breathe in. Your respiratory system warms the air to match your body temperature. It moisturizes the air to bring it to the humidity level your body needs. Second, it protects your body from particles you breathe in. Parts of your respiratory system can block harmful germs and irritants from getting in or push them out if they do get in. Third, it allows you to talk. Air vibrates your vocal cords, which makes sounds. Fourth, it helps you smell. Breathing in air moves its molecules past your olfactory nerve, which sends messages to your brain about the way something smells. Fifth, it balances level of acidity in your body. Too much carbon dioxide lowers your blood's pH, making it acidic. By removing carbon dioxide, your respiratory system helps maintain the acid-base balance in your body. What are the parts of the respiratory system? The main organs of your respiratory system are your lungs, but your respiratory system has many different parts that work together to help you breathe. Parts of your respiratory system include your nose and nostrils. Air enters the body through the nostrils, where small hairs called the cilia filters out dust and particles. The air is also warm and moistened. Second is the nasal cavity. Located behind the nose, the nasal cavity further filters, warms, and humidifies the air. It also contains smell receptors. Third is the mouth or the oral cavity. The mouth acts as the secondary entry point for air. It is especially useful when breathing heavily or when the nose is blocked, although it does not filter or warm the air as well as the nasal cavity. Fourth is the pharynx or the throat. The pharynx is a muscular tube that serves both the respiratory and digestive systems. It directs air from the nose and mouth to the larynx. Fifth is the larynx, or also known as the voice box. The larynx connects the pharynx to the trachea. It contains the vocal cords, which produce the sound. It also helps protect the airway by preventing the food and liquids from entering the trachea. Sixth is the trachea, or the windpipe. The trachea is a tube that carries air from the larynx to the bronchi. It is supported by rings of cartilage to keep it open at all times. Seventh is the bronchi and the bronchioles. The trachea splits into two bronchi, one for each lung. This then branch into smaller tubes called bronchioles, which distribute air throughout the lungs. Eighth is the lungs. The lungs are the main organs of respiration. They contain millions of tiny air sacs called the alveoli, where oxygen enters the blood and carbon dioxide is removed. Ninth is the diaphragm. The diaphragm is a dome-shaped muscle located below the lungs. It contracts and flattens when you inhale, creating space for the lungs to expand. It relaxes when you exhale, helping push air out. First one is the alveoli. These are the tiny air sacs inside the lungs where gas exchange takes place. Oxygen passes from the alveoli into the blood and carbon dioxide moves from the blood into the alveoli to be exhaled. Second, capillaries. These are the microscopic blood vessels surrounding the alveoli. They transport oxygen into the bloodstream and carry carbon dioxide back to the alveoli. Third is the epiglottis. This is a flap-like structure above the larynx. It closes over the trachea when swallowing to prevent food or liquid from entering the airways. Fourth is the cilia. These are tiny hair-like structures lining the respiratory tract. They move in a wave-like motion to push mucus and trap particles up and out of the lungs. Fifth is the pleura. This is a double-layered membrane that surrounds each lung. It provides lubrication and allows smooth movement of the lungs inside the chest cavity during breathing. What is your upper respiratory tract? Your upper respiratory tract brings air into your body and helps move it toward your lungs. It adds moisture to the air you breathe in. And your respiratory tract starts with your nose and mouth where you pull air into your body. Other parts of your upper respiratory tract includes your nasal cavity, the sinuses or the hollow areas in your cheeks and forehead, and the larynx. What is your lower respiratory tract? Your lower respiratory tract consists of the trachea, bronchi, and lungs. Your trachea and bronchioles, or the small airways that makes up your tracheobronchial tree, a series of increasingly smaller tubes that transport air from your upper respiratory tract to small air sacs in your lungs, also called the alveoli. How does your respiratory system work? Your cells need oxygen to create energy. Creating energy releases carbon dioxide as a waste product which can harm your body if too much builds up. The main job of your respiratory system is to bring oxygen into your lungs and move carbon dioxide out of them. This is called the gas exchange. It works closely with your circulatory system, your heart, blood, and blood vessels to do this. Think of the oxygen in the air as passengers on millions of planes flying into your lungs every time you breathe in. Your diaphragm pulls down, creating more space in your chest, which pulls air and its tiny oxygen cargo into your lungs. The air travels through your mouth or nose and down the trachea, bronchi, and bronchioles, like airport runways. Then the passengers arrive at the airport gates, your alveoli. There, the oxygen moves through the membranes surrounding your lungs into small blood vessels or the capillaries. You can imagine it like the oxygen passengers getting picked up by a taxi at the airport. Finally, the taxi travels out to your tissues, dropping off oxygen to give your cells energy. And there you have it! Your respiratory system is an epic combo of tubes, sacs, and teamwork that keeps you alive, energized, and be able to sing in the shower. So the next time you take a breath, give a little thanks to your lungs, your alveoli, and the superhero cilia, keeping your airways clean.
Hi everyone, I'm Cucharo, and in today's lesson, we'll dive into one of the most fascinating systems of the human body, the digestive system. By the end of this video, you'll understand how your body turns food into energy and nutrients, and what role each part plays in the process. Let's begin. Overview. There are five major organs of the digestive system. These are your mouth, esophagus, stomach, small intestine, and large intestine. While the accessory organs there are three accessory organs, and these are liver, gallbladder, and pancreas. So what is human digestive system? It is a process of reducing food into smaller molecules that can be absorbed into the body and used in nutrients. There are two major parts of the digestive system. These are the major organs and the accessory organs. So let's talk about the major organs. So first, we have the mouth. Mouth is the first part of the digestive system. It is the entry point of food, and it is structured by the teeth, salivary glands, and saliva. teeth got tear, crush, and grind food, while the salivary glands produce and secrete saliva into the oral cavity, and the saliva helps to moisten the food in order for us to easily swallow the food that we eat. So it contains enzymes such as ptyalin or salivary amylase. It begins digestion of starch into smaller polysaccharides. Its function is the mechanical digestion and increasing surface area for faster chemical digestion. Next, we have esophagus. Esophagus is a tube connecting the mouth to the stomach. It runs through the thoracic cavity. It is located behind windpipe, the trachea. The trachea has an epiglottis. It prevents food from entering the windpipe. It moves the food to the esophagus while swallowing. Food travels down the esophagus through a series of involuntary rhythmic contractions, a wave-like contraction. It is called the peristalsis. Its function, it is the lining of the esophagus. It secretes mucus. It is the lining of the esophagus that secretes mucus for lubricating and support the movement of food. Next, we have the stomach. It is a J-shaped muscular sac. It has inner folds, pterygae, increase the surface area of the stomach. Its function is to perform mechanical digestion by churning the bolus and mixing it with the gastric juices secreted by the lining of the stomach. HCl helps break down the food and kills bacteria that came along with the food. The bolus is now called chyme. Stomach does not digest itself. Why? So there are three protective mechanisms of the stomach. First, the stomach only secretes small amounts of gastric juices until food is present. This prevents the stomach from digesting itself when it's empty, conserving the strong acids and enzymes until they're actually needed. Second, the secretion of mucus coats the lining of the stomach, protecting it from the gastric juices. This thick mucus barrier prevents the stomach lining from being damaged or eroded by the acidic environment. The third mechanism is the digestive enzyme pepsin. It is secreted in an inactive protein called pepsinogen. Pepsinogen is converted to pepsin in the increased presence of hydrochloric acid. This ensures that a powerful enzyme only becomes active when needed, preventing it from digesting the cells that produce it. So we have small intestine. Small intestine responsible for the complete digestion of all macromolecules and the absorption of their component molecules. Small intestine is made up of three parts. These are the duodenum, jejunum, and ileum. So the first part is the duodenum. It is a U-shaped organ, approximately 30 cm in length. This area completes most of the digestion processes. Enzymes are secreted into the duodenum form the pancreas and the gallbladder. The duodenum is lined by folds of tissue called villi. The villi are covered by fine brush-like microvilli. These folds increase the surface area of the small intestine, increase the rate of absorption. Next is the jejunum. The jejunum is approximately 2.5 meters long. Although some digestion is completed here, it has more villi and macrovilli. Its role is absorption of nutrients. So third, the ileum. Ileum is approximately 3 meters long. It has fewer villi and macrovilli than the other two parts. Although absorption also occurs here, it is responsible for pushing the waste materials into the large intestine. So functions of the small intestine. So 90% of the digestion and absorption of food occurs in the small intestine. Other 10% taking place in the stomach and large intestine. So the main function of the small intestine is absorption of nutrients and minerals from food. Digestion of proteins. Proteins, peptides, and amino acids are acted upon by the enzymes such as trypsin and chymotrypsin, secreted by the pancreas. This breaks them down to smaller peptides. Digestion of lipids. Enzymes like lipases secreted from the pancreas act on fats and lipids in diet. Lipase can break them into the smaller parts that can enter the intestinal villi for absorption. Next, digestion of carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are broken down to simple sugars and monosaccharides like glucose. Pancreatic amylase breaks down to oligosaccharides as well. Some carbohydrates and fibers pass undigested to the large intestine where they may, depending on their type, be broken down by intestinal bacteria. Next, we have the absorption in the small intestines. So the nutrients are absorbed by the inner walls of the small intestine into the bloodstream. The nutrients are absorbed by processes of simple passive diffusion, passilated diffusion, primary active transport, or secondary active transport. For transport, nutrients commonly rely upon lipids, where undergo passive or simple diffusion, short-chain fatty acids for diffusion, amino acids for primary active transport, glucose for secondary active transport, and fructose for vacillated diffusion. Next, we move on to large intestine and its parts and functions. Components of large intestine. So the large intestine is composed of several very distinctive parts. We have the cecum, colon, and rectum. So the colon consists of four parts. These are the ascending colon, transverse colon, descending colon, and sigmoid colon. First, let's talk about cecum. Cecum is the first section of your large intestine. It looks like a pouch, and it is 2 inches long. Its role is taking in digested liquid from the ileum. It is from the small intestine and passes it onto the colon. Next, we have the colon. It is the major section of the large intestine. Its function is principal place for water absorption and also absorbs salt when needed. Components. As I have said earlier, there are colon consists of four parts. These are the ascending colon, transverse colon, descending colon, and sigmoid colon. Rectum, the final section. It measures from 1 to 1.6 inches or 2.5 to 4 centimeters. Leftover waste collects there. It is located just before the anus. It is where the stool is stored before being expelled from the body. Function of large intestine. Functions of large intestine. First is to absorb water. It is one of the primary functions of the large intestine. It prepares the waste as a solid stool that will be expelled from the body. This helps maintain the body's fluid balance and prepares the waste as a solid stool that will be expelled from the body. Second, it absorbs vitamins. Beneficial bacteria role in breaking down undigested sugars and fibers into fatty acids. It produces many vitamins, of which are vitamin K, biotin, that are absorbed back into the body to support blood clotting and metabolism. Next, it reduces acidity. The fatty acids cause acidic environment. The Li produces alkaline solutions, reduce acidity, and balance the pH in the Li. Next, it protects from infections. The mucus lining of the large intestine acts as a protective layer. It prevents harmful bacteria from being reabsorbed into the body. It acts as a barrier, preventing harmful bacteria and toxins from being absorbed into the body and triggering infections. Next, last is to produce antibodies. It helps to boost immunity. It is believed that the appendix may have been a major producer of antibodies at some point in the evolutionary process. So, let's now move on to the accessory organs. Accessory organs support the digestive system but are not part of the digestive tract. These organs secrete fluids into the digestive tract and are connected by ducts. The accessory organs include the liver, gallbladder, and pancreas. Let's talk about liver. Liver is the largest internal organ in the body, weighing about 1.5 kilograms. It plays a vital role in metabolism, detoxification, and digestion. One of its main functions is to produce bile, a greenish-yellow fluid. Bile contains bile pigments and bile salts, which help in the digestion of fats. It also breaks down all red blood cells, turning them into components that are either reused or excreted. These waste products become part of the bile. Next, we have the gallbladder. The gallbladder is a small storage sac located under the liver. Its main role is to restore the bile produced by the liver. Bile is secreted from the liver into the gallbladder through small ducts, and when needed, bile travels from the gallbladder through the common bile duct into the small intestine. How it works. When food containing fats enters the digestive tract, the gallbladder contracts, releasing bile into the small intestine. So the bile salts emulsify fats in the partly digested food, breaking them into smaller droplets to increase surface area for enzymes to work on. This process aids in the absorption of fats, making digestion more efficient. Lastly is the pancreas. So the pancreas produces a variety of digestive enzymes which are secreted into the small intestine. These enzymes help break down carbohydrates, lipids, and proteins completely so they can be absorbed. It also releases bicarbonate ions which neutralize the hydrochloric acid from the stomach. This raises the pH of the small intestine to around pH 8, creating an optimal environment for enzyme action. The pancreas connects to the digestive system via the pancreatic duct, which joins a common bile duct before entering the duodenum. On average, the pancreas secretes about 1.0 liter of pancreatic fluids per day, ensuring that digestion continues smoothly and effectively. So that's the end of our discussion. I hope you I hope you learned something new today, and I hope I expanded your knowledge about the digestive system.